Now here is now here is the reason why I'm laughing. Okay, this visa ban. At what point are we going to realize that this doesn't work? That these countries are not going to place visa ban on any of the politicians, irrespective of what they do. Okay, let's take it from there.
Anybody that is calling on the international community is wasting his time. International community is like a dog that cannot bite. He's just there staring. When he sees intruders, it will run away. So anybody that is calling you, so for the case of Nnamdi Kanu, they've been calling the international community. There is nothing international about their community. There is nothing they can do. The worst they can tell you is that they cannot interfere with the country's sovereignty, that the issue is a nation's issue and they should know how to manage it. Before I address this issue, I will first of all talk about the pre-election before the presidential election, which now led to the governorship election.
Yeah.
Now, this issue about Igbos in Lagos have generated a lot of comments here and there. There have been a lot of controversies about the issue. Now, before Peter Obi came out to announce his intention, nobody heard about Igbos staying in Lagos, non-indigens and all. Now, when Peter Obi started gathering that momentum, and people from different tribes, it was not just people from the Igbo extraction, people from different tribes, even people from different faiths like Muslims, Christians, traditional worshippers. Everybody was just after a better Nigeria. Now, after the presidential election took place, you now found out that the people from the opposition party, which is the APC, now felt that it was Igbos supporting Peter Obi, and they have to go against these Igbo people to ensure that the governorship election do not toe the line of the presidential election. Because in the presidential election, Peter Obi won resoundingly in Lagos State. But you can see that there are some maneuvers which the court will still speak on as the time goes by. So after the presidential election, maybe these people felt that if they don't bring this ethnic diversion or ethnic division among us, that they will lose the governorship election. So prior to the governorship election, you will hear people go out where people were going out with tank criers all over the city. They will knock that if you don't vote for a particular party, if you don't vote for a particular party, we are going to kill you, we are going to chase you out of our state. So we're hearing things like that. There was one that was even linked to MC Olomo at some point. And people were coming to defend him that he does. Even MC Olomo came out that he was just, it was a joke, that he wasn't serious about it and all. But what happened during the election? People were killed, people were beaten. Now you find out that the places where you have more Igbo persons or where Peter Obi won during the presidential election, they will send thugs to go and attack them. That was the strategy. So you find out the election did not hold in so many parts where they feel the opposition might win them. So they intentionally carried out those actions to ensure that the opposition do not have a ground in Lagos. Now, what I was expecting of INEC at that point is to maybe stop the collation and ensure that the election is properly carried out. But what will INEC do? They will just announce the result, and at the end of the day, they will ask you to go to court. So what is happening? If I want to look at this issue now, what is happening, I feel, is an aftermath of the election. And from what we've been hearing, that non-indigens, and so people have been coming out to say non-indigens should go back to their states to go and vote or decide who will be in charge of them. So right. I'm wondering, are we non-indigens in our own country?
All right, good. Speaking of non-indigens, let's go back to the meat of this conversation. Okay. Kosil is saying the points, this Ajao estate, that's, remember, the Ezebo of Ajao is still in detention over a comment he made about that failure of the government to protect them. They're going to get IPOP to protect them. Good. He's still in detention over that. When Aisha Lomo said what he said, nobody came for him. He's still a free man walking about. Yeah. But when Ezebo of Ajao estate raised alarm that his people are being killed, and this is what is going to happen. They'll have to call IPOP to protect them. He was detained. He's still in detention, the last we checked. Now, come back to the issue here, which is the fact that these places where they are demolishing these houses, you've talked about other issues that happened, that these are places where Igbos own their properties. But the Lagos state government is saying that these houses are on the pipelines. They are not where they are supposed to be. So the question now is this: with Kosil on one side saying this is a tribal war against the Igbos, and Lagos state government saying, hey, these properties were not properly situated. We want to ask, if you have idea, help us here. Who approved these properties? These properties have been in existence for years. These are not new properties. Why are you suddenly demolishing these properties right now? Lagos state government, they couldn't have put up this property without approval from Lagos state government. So why are you suddenly demolishing these properties right now? Of all time, with the tension, ethnic tension going on between the Igbos and Yorubas in Lagos state. So what exactly, putting the Lagos state government saying is on the pipeline, and Kosil saying you're doing this because P2B won in this area. These are dominant Igbo areas. Let's get to have you dissect from both angles.
I was coming to this issue. Now, there was one time I came to this issue and we talked about houses that are demolished in Abuja. There was this, is it Bokri's house that was demolished in Abuja that they said is on the road or a place marked by government to be demolished. We've not heard anything about that issue till now. If your house is situated where it's not supposed to be, like maybe in a government reserved area, a place marked by the government, or is situated on a pipeline right of way, or of course the government can demolish your house, but they cannot demolish it without giving you the required notice and without an order of the court. They cannot just wake up one morning and come to demolish someone's house, except they have that permission from the court. You remember one time when their governor also demolished a hotel and there was outcry all over, because if you allow people like the executive to just take laws into their hand and start demolishing anybody's house without maybe a recourse to the court, that means one morning you can just wake up and you will see yourself, maybe there's no roof over your house and they sent you packing. Now, in the issue of Lagos State, if the government has issued notice to these people and they've informed them before now, I don't know if there's such a notice, that this your house is on pipeline right of way, or is situated close to an airport or whatever they're saying. If they've issued them those notices prior to this time, then I would not want to say that it is an aftermath of the election, or they are trying to which hunt them based on their tribe or whatever it's called, if they've issued them that notice. But if it's just an afterthought, maybe you're using this means to demolish their houses because of what happened during the election, then I would say that the government is totally wrong. Because for you to have an estate in Lagos, of course you have permits from the government, and the government will come to inspect. So who are those people that carried out this inspection? Who are those people that checked that were in government that did not know that there's a pipeline where that estate is situated? Now, if you're looking at the houses that are demolished, is it just the houses belonging to Igbo people that were demolished, or the houses belonging to people from other tribes, maybe Yorubas and all, that were demolished? If all the houses in that estate were demolished, they're properly demolished, and it's not just houses belonging to Igbo people, then we'll say the government is maybe carrying out their responsibility. But if we check, if there are investigations carried out and you find out that it's only Igbo people, then I will know that it is on the basis of tribe that these people are going after this. And if they succeed in this, there's nothing there to say that these people will not go after those other places where maybe they perceive that their opponents won in the election and still demolish people's houses. Lately in Lagos, we have been seeing that the markets owned by non-Indigens, maybe you just hear that there's a fire incident, you don't even know where the fire is coming from. But all these are not things we want to talk about because we don't know who set the fire. But this one that has been carried out by the government, if it's just about Igbo people, then we know that the government is after Igbo people. But I don't know why they would not want the Igbo people to rest. First of all, you don't want them to be in power. That's what came out during the election. You don't want them to be in power. You don't want them to leave the nation. You still want them to be part of this marriage called Nigeria. Still, you don't want them to carry out their businesses in places where they are carrying out their businesses. What has the Igbo man done to Nigeria? I'm not an Igbo man, from Rivers State. People can easily say
I know,
that.
yeah.
Yes. But what has the Igbo man done to this nation? For crying out loud, if you're tired of them, let them go. It's just a fact. People are afraid to say it, but I'm saying it because when you look at this issue, people are telling you that it's not right for an Igbo man to be president. When would they be president? Because if you're looking at these issues, these are the same issues that led to the war, the Biafran war.
Yeah.
These are the same issues. And we are having these things playing back over and over again. Are we not fed up with it? The reason why we cannot have development in Nigeria is this issue of tribe. You want your brother to be in one place or your sister to be in the other place. We forget competence, we forget credibility, but we just have that tribe. If you want to get married, you go to your village and bring one illiterate to marry because you feel she's from your tribe. These are not things that are supposed to play. But you've been in a relationship with one other girl that's from another tribe. You've used the best part of her life, and here you are looking for someone from your tribe. So as Nigerians, we should see beyond the tribal divisions. We should see ourselves as one. In the US, if you're a US citizen, you know that you're a US citizen. Nobody looks at you because you're from there. There are Nigerians in the US. There are Yorubas. There are Igbos in the US. They're in a position of power. And they're not originally from there. They just went there and they are citizens. But nobody's looking at that. So as Nigerians, we should see ourselves beyond our tribe and see ourselves based on the bond we share as Nigerians and the fact that we are from one nation. I think the constitution should be reviewed to check all these things that are happening.